thing where I don't even want to fucking talk about it, but like people online like to call me the comedian that can't take a joke. And it's
why?
Because like I've had instances on this podcast with people where they say something that they think is funny and I'm like, that's not funny, it's mean. And then we like get into it. And then there's all these people, they like make fan videos about it. They're like, she's a comedian, she can't take a joke. And like, I hate a lot of things, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want to not be allowed to say how I feel, but I also do want to look at this like this is a comedy podcast and this is fun and it's funny, but I think all things are true. Like I think, yeah.
You can have a personal line.
I like when things get serious.
I don't like when people call
I love when things
specific
get serious.
people ugly publicly, or like that this person is ugly or fat or whatever. Like I think that's mean.
Yeah,
probably my
for me
line.
the line is pretty clear, and in your instance, I don't know, you've always been everyone's punching bag. So of all people who can take jokes, it's you. Yeah. I mean, the amount of times Bobby has called you 90,000 different names, like, and you just sit there like giggling.
Yeah, that's the thing is I like it, so I feel that I also am allowed to say like, wait, that feels real and is mean.
Exactly.
And people get so mad at me
when you have a
people
line.
Don't like
they don't want you to have a
confronted.
line.
Yeah. I also do want to see one other point of view of it, which is like this, which I'm actually taking in a good way, which is like, this is a comedy podcast. And so that's why I apply that to your thing of like people trying to cancel you for your like hilarious rant on a TikTok.
Right.
It's like, that was comedy.
Right. It also wasn't controversial, I don't think. Like I'll say actually controversial things, but also it's kind of what you're saying where like if I say something controversial in my stand-up, it's like I've thought about it, I've workshopped it, I feel there's nuance or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can like defend it easier.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, no, well, this is what I meant. That rant I did on Subway Takes was kind of like me off the cuff. I was like hungover, blah, blah. So then
That was
I
off
felt,
the cuff?
Yeah. So then I kind of felt misunderstood. Like I felt this desire for the first time ever to defend and be like, wait, that's not what I meant. And then I was like, wait,
No,
fuck you
I hate
guys. Like
that.
you also would like speak out of turn potentially if you were speaking like just off the top of your head. And also, again, what I was saying wasn't crazy. It's not like I'm like, I didn't mean it that racist thing that I said. It was like I was like making fun of myself and girls and whatever.
So we have some red flags to share with you guys.
I feel
Here's where I have trouble in life a lot, and I hope you'll give me like maybe 30 seconds to finish this thought without saying like, wrap it up or let's get it over with. I think that I love you so deeply, but you're so brilliant and you're so quick. It's sometimes hard to contend with that and tell you how I truly feel, because I feel like you're just gonna trample it because you're smarter than me, you're quicker than me, and your brain is connected to your mouth, and therefore you're able to get your thoughts much quicker. Versus me, it takes time to process. So I'll leave here feeling like, gosh, why did Rick say that so many times about our show? And probably never say it to you because I have trouble contending with fast speakers. Does that make sense?
Wow.
And
But
I'll
then also on the same note, I truly love you. But also
it's confusing.
It is mean.
And I would also like to add, like, it's honestly really, and I'm sorry, like, I wanted to wait and, like, say cut or whatever, but, like, I feel like it was really hard just now when we were starting and you said that I said I didn't want to have Brent on without you because it wouldn't do good numbers. Like, I don't remember saying that. I might have. I say that
you
sometimes.
didn't. I'm sorry.
No.
You did. She didn't. She never said that.
I never thought he.
Khalyla, Kuhn, and Esther complaining about people saying that their podcast isn't funny, and Esther going off about people saying she can't take a joke. Now, as you see there from the Rick Glassman thing, that's what this all goes back to when they got into a heated argument because Rick made some jokes and they couldn't handle it. So much so that they had to bring it up on their podcast and get into a whole heated argument over it because Esther and Khalyla couldn't take any jokes. Look, you do a comedy podcast, and the entire podcast is based basically on the fact that Esther is the co-host of Tiger Belly that she did with Bobby Lee, and they broke up, And she's going to receive backlash, not only for that, but for other things. So, but that's what your number one viewership is, our Tiger Belly fans. So you're just going to have to learn to deal with it. And look, people in general think women aren't funny. They usually aren't, in general. But don't play into it by complaining during your podcast about it and saying, oh, my feelings were hurt and all this stuff. Just learn to take jokes, and complaining about it on your podcast is not the way to do it. Although it creates good content for me. But it's just, this is the second time, and they must be really butthurt over that Rick Glassman thing. And even Esther was like, fans are making videos about it and all this stuff. This was the belief of one of the reasons why Annie Lederman left, by the way. One of the speculations is not only was Khalyla being a terror behind the scenes, but a lot of Annie Lederman's jokes were getting cut. You have to remember, this podcast, they edit very, very heavily. And Annie Lederman would do a lot of jokes, say a lot of stuff that would be quote-unquote controversial, probably smart stuff to say to generate clicks that they would then edit. And they probably would have thought she would say a lot of mean jokes, self-deprecating jokes about the podcast, and Esther and Khalyla couldn't handle it. I mean, they've been going through a lot. She had a baby. Khalyla had a baby. Khalyla is just getting over having half a Hulk face. Khalyla still brings up the Bobby Lee breakup. She said that she's upset that she's known for being Bobby Lee's ex-girlfriend and all these types of things. And now they're complaining that people are saying that their podcast isn't funny. Well, I mean, whether you think it's funny or not funny, that's neither here or there, but to actually sit there and complain about it. And with Ali Makovsky, who's allegedly the one who was banging Joe Rogan years ago, because it was his opener. But, I mean, these two, they do have a fan base, though, for this podcast. They are planning on changing the name, I heard. They're going to change the name from Trash Tuesday to some banana thing. And but they do have a fan base, mostly women, who do pay for their Patreon. But, I mean, this podcast, you can't argue, has gone quite downhill since Annie Lederman has left. And one of her reasons I believe she left was the fact that Khalyla and Esther really can't take jokes. And it's illustrated by the fact that this is the second time they're complaining about it on their podcast. So, I mean, Esther just needs to get over it and stop crying. Get over it. She's whining, she's crying, she's pitching a fit. Get over it. I hate that song. Eagles suck. Talk about not funny, the Eagles. But they were never meant to be funny. What am I talking about? I don't know. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.